Welcome to my channel. In this video, I am going to share some interesting details about the knight. And the knight is a very tricky piece actually on the chessboard. It can be a defensive piece or it can be an attacking piece. It can be the strongest piece on the chessboard or it can also be the baddest piece on the chessboard. So what I mean by that is when the knight is placed on an excellent outpost where your opponent cannot use any piece to attack it, especially pawns, then it could be the strongest piece on the chessboard, even stronger than a rook sometimes, or even the queen. But sometimes it can also be the baddest or the worst piece on the board because, for example, when it is on, for example, h1, then it is the most useless piece, even useless than a pawn. But if it's on h1, for example, the pawns on our g3, f2, and black's pawns are f3, g4, then this knight is simply just trapped in this h1 on this h1 square, and it's locked forever. So today I'm going to share with you guys what each knight is like on each rank. So first of all, as you know, knights, they gain in strength as they move further up the board. In general, of course, that's just a general saying. And as a rule of thumb, a knight stuck on the first or second rank is a defensive piece and is inferior to a healthy bishop. If it's a diseased bishop, then it's another matter. So as in the first position we can see, this f1 knight is on the first rank. It's only a defensive piece, actually, defending the h2 pawn, and we can see that this d6 bishop and the h4 queen are all putting pressure on h2, and our knight can only become a defender. There's no way for him to attack. But on the other hand, a knight on the third rank can also be the opposite. It might not be like the strongest piece on the board, but it does have some use here, at least attacking usage, of course. For example, here it can put pressure on the d5 pawn as well as supporting e4. So this knight is of course better or more active than this knight, but it doesn't mean that the f1 knight is completely useless. It still has defending uses as well. And also if a knight were on the second rank, it's probably still just a defensive knight. Not much attacking ideas for that knight. So the first and second knight, if the knight were on the first or second rank, then their usage are very similar. But the worst is for the knight to be on the first rank. You have to remember that. So now let's take a look at the next position where the knight is on the fourth rank. So we've just saw what will happen if the knight were on the first rank, the third rank, and the knight on the second rank is basically similar to the knight on the first rank. So now in this position, we can see that the knight on the fourth rank is like an insane piece. Of course, in this position, these kinds of positions, this knight is just a very powerful piece, controlling 8 squares in total. It's already it can jump to b5, f5, and it can even take on e6. But it can also control many pieces where the opponent's pieces might find hard to get to. For example, if black wants to get the rook to c6, it's not possible because the knight is just simply looking at it, so it's not possible. And if, for example, if black wants to go to f5 to activate this bishop, it's not possible because this knight looks at f5, and which makes it impossible for black to go to. So this knight on the fourth rank, when it's on the support point, then most of the times it's a good piece. Alright, now let's take a look at the third position. So we can see that the knight is on the fifth rank. White's dynamic knight is running rings around black's defensive steed. The e5 knight is on a permanent support point and is eyeing c6, d7, f7, as well as g6. All spots deep in enemy territory. Black knight can go to d5, just to mention here. Note that black's knight cannot go to d5 because white can always push c4 to kick it away. So comparing this knight on the 5th rank with this knight on the, on black's side, it's on the 2nd rank. There's a big difference. Alright, and black can't really activate his knight because there's always c4 ideas to kick it away. But on the other hand, this knight on e5 is on a permanent support point. Only, for example, if black were to go, for example, transferring the knight to d7 to trade it off. But it will take a lot of moves and it will waste time. Also, e6 is a big weakness. So once the knight moves away, we will probably put our knight away and then pressure the e6 pawn. Alright, now let's take a look at the 4th position. Here the knight is on the 6th rank. The 6th rank. This knight is like a bad dream to black. This is like a nightmare. This knight attacks, pressures f7, and also controls 8 squares. Oops. So this is also a very nice knight, and it pressures the all of black's pieces. So this position-wise, of course, also better. So you can see that I just briefly described what each position, each knight on different rank looked like. The reason that I haven't given an example of the knight on the 7th rank or the 8th rank is because usually when knights are on that rank, it means that they're having tactical ideas and yeah. So let's take a look at the first position again. And I'm going to kind of summarize what I've just told you guys. So a knight stuck on the 1st or 2nd rank is a defensive piece and is inferior to a healthy bishop. If it's a diseased bishop, then it's another matter. A knight on the 3rd rank is a flexible workhorse and can be used for defense or attack at moment's notice. You should also note that a knight on the 3rd rank often has serious central influence. A knight on the 4th rank support point is a very strong and flexible piece. You can rely on it to perform both defensive and offensive duties. A knight on the 5th rank support point can be a beautiful thing to behold. It is a potent offensive weapon and is usually superior to the bishop. So it means it's usually better than the bishop. A knight on the 6th rank support point is just simply a wonderful piece. Here the knight transfers from a horse to an octopus. And sometimes it is even stronger than a rook. A knight on the 7th and 8th ranks gives us a case of diminishing return. Once the knight passes the 6th rank, it no longer controls as many squares since its reach runs out of board. Usually a knight on such an advanced rank is performing some sort of tactical or search and destroy operation. So just like what I've mentioned. Alright, so hope you guys find all of this helpful to you. In this video, it's actually a very short video, but all I'm trying to do is to mention how the knight what the knight is like on each rank. But of course, it depends on where the knight is. If the knight were on a support point, for example, if the knight, let's take a look at here, for example, if the knight were on e5, it's called a support point or an outpost for your knight. Then white will just be better, of course. So yeah, I think this is all in today's videos. Basically, I'm just trying to emphasize how each knight looks like on each rank and how to activate your knights. Yeah, hope you guys find it helpful and see you in the next video. Bye!